I think, the two of us working together, day in, day out, so whether it's in service or not, is what makes the restaurant what it is today. I concentrate mainly front of house, and Brett is the chef. And if anything, were to happen and Brett wasn't cooking for a period of time in the kitchen, I am sure that the level of food is not going to be the same. Even though he's trained his apprentices can cope to a certain degree, but what I see with Brett, for example, is coordination. Getting a table of 30 meals out all in one hit, something that, I don't think an apprentice, I've even seen qualified chefs that can't manage that and are quite surprised by it. So when there's a table of 30 and they suddenly get all their meals out together, they do notice, and they know that this is the level of service that we're providing. General operations, I think it's quite difficult in this industry. With Bathurst especially, I think we rely a lot on uni students to come into this environment. So staffing for front of house tends to be difficult because it is on a casual basis. And you don't know from one day to the next, whether you're going to be busy or not. I find it hard to see a pattern sometimes. I can say with confidence that generally Friday and Saturday nights will be busy, but midweek I can have a Tuesday night or a Wednesday night that can be just as busy as a Saturday night, and not have, put staff on thinking that, it's not going to happen. How do I handle it? I step up to the mark. There I am. I'm usually okay with about 25 people, so that's about half the restaurant. There are times when I've called on Brett to perhaps make drinks while I'm taking orders. There can be a little bit of downtime in the kitchen until all the orders start coming in, so he can help out that way. And I think that's the difference of being the owners who own the business as opposed to I've employed a chef, I probably couldn't get him out of the kitchen to help me. So yeah, it is hard to juggle staff and try to work. I do have a couple of good staff that I can call on in the last minute, and they only live around the corner, so that helps me in that respect. I think the basis is because we're owner-operators that we have to step up to the mark regardless. I can't use the excuse that I don't have staff, or a waitress is called in sick at the last minute. You just can't do it. And I think the difference with our restaurant too is that, as Brett mentioned before, we're so personable. We've actually made such close friendships with a lot of our patrons over the years that they can see. They can see if I'm running around like a blowfly or whatever, and they're tolerant. I don't know if I'd get the same experience if we had a restaurant in Sydney or Melbourne or Canberra. There is a difference, I think, operating in a country town.
No? Okay. The thing is with the open kitchen, I can see what's going on in the restaurant as well. If a regular customer walks in and I know I don't have time to sort of cook for them, or I know that everything else is backing up, I might even order for them. They'll put their hand up and say, we're right. And anyway, so I'll just send the food out. So that's being open, I can see what's going on and know the customer to know what they want to eat. So I'll just feed them, and they love that. 60% of our customers now go, we don't want to order, you just feed us, which is sort of good. When it comes to making the noise and stuff in the kitchen, speaking to the guys that come in, they like the noise. They get a buzz out of it. People sit there and watch us for half an hour doing service and going, like they're running around like mad. How's it all working? Why is it coming out? Why does it make sense?
I think our noisiest part of the kitchen would have to be the range room. And yes, and we actually have a controller on it. So it starts off really low and soft when business starts of the night. As it builds up, also the noise of the range will build up too. But I think it becomes so much in the background that people don't really notice it. The coffee machine, when the coffee grinder is going, that's the only time it's really loud. And I try to limit it, so it's only operating when I need that couple of shots, turn it off. So yeah, we do have to be conscious of noise because everything is so open, and the noise does resonate.
In the kitchen, it's sort of difficult. No one wants to be a chef anymore. People going to work at the mines get paid 4 times the amount of a chef, and so finding kitchen staff is really difficult. Over the time, I've had maybe 15 or 20 apprentices, for instance, in an 8-year period, and probably 3 or 4 of those have been fantastic. The rest have done their job and got through, but there's been the 4 standout apprentices. Finding apprentices is difficult. They all want to tell you what you want to hear, so they'll tell you that I'm fantastic and I can do it and I love the hours and I don't mind a cranky chef and all that sort of stuff, but 3 days into it you can tell they don't want to do it, they never wanted to do it, and there's no passion. To be in the kitchen, it's all about the passion. It has to be, because it's a horrible job, it's horrible hours, so why would you want to do it? So finding kitchen staff is difficult. I normally interview them, 5 minutes, maybe a coffee, and then there's sort of not much point to having a conversation. So I'm like, can you come and work for me for a day? Get in there and do the job. Usually a day's enough to see whether they're able or not. You can have someone that has never ever touched a knife to pick it up and being able to cut a carrot within 10 minutes and understand it. But then you can have someone for 4 weeks and they still can't organise to cut a carrot, for instance. Front of house is different, as Rob said. Like, we've got lots of casuals, but he probably can talk to you more about finding those ones.
Doing a trial is honestly the only way you can assess someone, because everything's hands-on. So if I say to a potential waitress, can you set this empty table the same way that table's set up, exactly the same way, and I see the knife and the fork are switched, without even thinking, that this person doesn't have much hope. So it's the only way I can try someone.
A lot of our staff have just walked through the door as well.
Yes.
Might be in the middle of service and someone walks in and he might not be looking today, but tomorrow's a different story.
That's it. It does change from day to day, quite dramatic. With our uniform, it's just a black shirt, black pants, and we have our apron. So that's basically it. No logo, nothing like that. The light fittings, we wanted specific light fittings to actually suit the building, and we came across them by accident, really.
Anything you agreed on?
Yeah, as far as the decor is concerned, yeah. And that tends to be the first thing that people notice when they walk in. Yeah. And because we're pretty much a dinner restaurant now, people are only going to see us of an evening, so the mood lighting will be happening more. We tend to be more popular in the winter time, even though most people, with restaurants especially, that tends to be the time where they're going the slowest. For us it peaks, and I have a feeling it's more because we do have that homely feel about the place, and we do have the 2 fireplaces going also. So people come to know us better. With furniture, we did want it to feel comfortable. We don't actually do several table sittings in the night. If you've booked for 7:30, you're here to stay. If you book for 6 o'clock, we don't ask you to leave at 7:30 because there's another sitting. So tables and chairs, especially the chairs, had to be comfortable because people were staying for 3-4 hours. And we wanted something that suited the look of the restaurant. So going metal or something industrial like that just wouldn't have suited the place.
Yeah, we just weren't really actually looking around to own our own restaurant. I'd been to this building a number of times for meetings and just loved it. And sitting here in the winter having a cup of coffee or a few glasses of wine in front of the fire were amazing. And the atmosphere just sort of made me want to come here. And that happened to be the previous owner of the business wanted to move on, and it sort of all fell into place really. So yeah, the building made us realise that we could open a restaurant and we probably should open a restaurant and make the money for ourselves and have the following we do now. So.